Hello and welcome, everyone. I am Danny Waldman, and we're here today for the $116,100 CSI 5-Star Adequan WEF Challenge Cup, Week 9 here at Wellington International. It is looking like some inclement weather is coming up, but we are going to see 49 horse rider combinations contesting today's class set by Alan Wade. And I took a look at the course. It is looking very difficult out there. Here's a look at our start list. Mexico's Eugenio Garza is going to get us started. Jimmy Toronto, McLean Ward coming up early. Samuel Dehaan from Great Britain. Shane Sweetnam. Michael Duffy, who hasn't been here, he's coming up. Zaina Rizvi, the young superstar for the U.S. Then Paul O'Shea. Moving on to USA's Kathleen Driscoll and then Catherine Dinan. Natalie Dean in there. We're going to look at Mexico's Carlos Hencarero. He's been on a great stretch at the moment. Laura Kraut coming up. Harry Charles is here this week. Hillary Scott for Australia. We've got Kyle Tim coming up. Niall Nassar. Cian O'Connor there with Fancy to Carrigain. That horse has been jumping great. Derek Kenny with Eddie Blue, who we jumped the Nations Cup on last week. Rupert Karl Winkelmann of Germany is back over here. Adrian on the horse Orija, that's been jumping super for her. Kendra Brinkhope is over for Germany. We haven't seen her show yet. She's here for the last couple of weeks, I believe. Kristen Vanderveen. We're going to see Tyza Erwin and Hyalita, the beautiful chestnut. She's been jumping a lot. For Gold is coming out. Of course, that came out great for Jordan Coyle. We're going to finish up with Carl Cook and Renee Dittmer. So starting list is looking very strong for this 5-star week here. And we are going to get underway, although I will say it has been a nice day. It's a little bit humid out there, but it's looking like it's stormy because the clouds are rolling in, and we do see a big band of rain coming up. So I believe it is going to be not the nicest weather for this class. Of course, thanks again to Adequan, who is our main sponsor today here for the WEF Challenge Cup, as well as all of the WEF Challenge Cups, American Region Animal Health, maker of Adequan. And there you can see our first one is making their way in. And that, of course, is going to be Mexico's Eugenio Garza Perez. And he is sitting on Chalery PS. 10-year-old stallion owned by David Garza and Monica Garza. And Eugenio up in the arms. We're going to see the course is very difficult looking out there today. Not giant, but certainly big enough. But more that the jumps keep coming at you. If you look at the ring comparative to a lot of the other classes and course designers we've seen out here, Alan Wade setting a lot of jumps in the ring. It just looks like it's busy out there. And a lot of related distances, connected lines. You got to know how to count today because things are coming up quick. A couple of options depending on the horses. I heard the riders talking about, doing some options down those lines, if they should add, if they should do one less. So let's take a look at what Eugenio is going to do. First jump starts off the left by the VIP. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think he did 9 there. Maybe 9 or 10, we'll see what people do up that first line. And it should be 7 here, NetJets right-hand turn. Just patient in the 7 to the Liverpool. And then he does 5AB here, Oxer vertical, kind of right at the in-gate. And now it's a left-hand turn, rolling back to the delicate black plank. And then this is a bit one of those lines that's an option. So he does the steady 6, 9, steady 6, 1, a little bit steady 4, got a little bit crooked there. That actually helped steady that up. Now you can take one little bit of a breath, but there's a lot more jumps to jump. Oxer vertical out of the corner. Does this 8. And a little bit far away, but gets over it. And look at that. Starting us out with a clear 73.70 on the clear for Eugenio Garza and Chalery. So, again, getting us started out with that clear round. You could see the horse was backed off a little bit. He did definitely the ads down most of the lines. And we may see some different options that people take. Time allowed is 75 seconds, so he was 73 and change, so well under it, but 73.70 was his time. 75 seconds for that time allowed. So he did some of the options of the ads, but I thought he was quite neat everywhere else. We'll take a look and see if they monitor that time allowed and change it after the third one. But first up, we're going to have to see Chewbacca HCC and Jimmy Toronto, the Isalu Incorporated and Jet Show Stables entry. Just patient there, 1 to 2. Far enough, and you can see the wind is picking up, so the weather is definitely changing a little bit. This horse has a very big stride, very steady there for him. Stays out in the 8. Nice in the 1. Just needing a little bit of time for this horse to jump the jumps. Jimmy doing a great job managing that big stride and then giving the horse time on takeoff. He moves up and does the 5. So we did see steady 6 before. Big jump here. Very steady there in the 6. You can see the horse shaking his head a little bit. Jimmy doing a good job to make sure to get that done. Just kind of ignore the head shaking. And just say, no, come on, buddy. There we go. Nice big jump there. He stays out also in the 8. A little bit of a touch at the skinny, then moves up for 4 coming down the last. But he is a little bit slow. 76.83 will be his time. And that means he'll pick up 2 time faults for Jimmy Toronto and Chewbacca HCC. So absolutely a beautiful jumping round. Just barely touched the skinny at the end. Otherwise jumped beautifully, but a little bit slow. And that's the challenge with today's course, of course, that with all the related distances, you don't have that much space to actually make up some of that time allowed, because everything is connected and you're kind of just thinking from jump to jump to jump to jump. But let's take a look at McLean Ward, and he is sitting on First Lady. Owned by Robin Parsky, 11-year-old mare by Don DiRardo. Again, this is a very different type of horse than Chewbacca, much different size, stride. Jumps beautifully here. So he still opts to do up in the 5. That looks like that works out well. I also thought it walked just a little bit up in the 5. Gets nice to the base there. Then he can land balance. You can see, ooh, he's going to have to kick out to get out. Oh, he just ended up there at the end from 8 to 9. Horse balked a little bit. Maybe not exactly what McLean wanted, and then just a little bit too far to get out. As you can see, the rain is starting to come down. A little bit of touch there. Moves up to the last, so he will just have that 1 down, 4 faults. 73.25 is his time for McLean and First Lady. And you can see he's hopping out of the ring as quick as possible, trying to get out of the rain because it is starting to really come down. Wind is gusting, and it is starting. Unfortunately, they had to delay this class a little bit today because of yesterday's inclement weather. But let's take a look at Great Britain's Sammy Eldahan. And Sammy is sitting on Joanne Sloan Allen's entry, WKD Toronto. It's a Tornesh by Carnival. It's an 11-year-old gelding. This horse been jumping really, really well. Sammy has only been here a couple of weeks. Came for Nations Cup week last week. Just nice there in the 9, 1 to 2. And as you can see, the rain unpleasant. Has the front pole there of the NetJets. And the top pole of that Liverpool. gets through the tilt double well, and now left-handed turn here. Delicate plank. Could actually end up steadying up. He really caught that first one out of the turn to the plank, so he could really steady up in the 5. 6 seems like a lot of effort there. We did see our first entry do that, but this works out. Ooh, a bit of a rub at A. Luckily, that one stays up. Steadies up for the 4 there at number 10. Little bit of a reach coming in. 8 there. And he'll just move up a little bit there. And boy, is it pouring out there now. But Samuel Dahan and WKD Toronto finish up time 72.04 with the 8 faults. So we did see one clear. That was our first entry who was clear. Jimmy Toronto was clear over the jumps, but had a couple of time faults. And now we're going to move on to everyone's favorite Shane Sweetnam and James Con Cruz. This wonderful horse was on our podium in the 5-star Grand Prix a couple of weeks ago. Hasn't jumped too many classes here so far, but boy, can you see that rain coming on down. They knew it was coming, and unfortunately, with the delay on the class, they timed it beautifully for the bad rain. All right, let's see what James Con Cruz can do here. This horse, such a beautiful jumper. It really jumped great a couple of weeks ago. Maybe a little bit of a touch there. Again, this horse has a really big stride, just some shape. There, jumps through that double really, really well. But as you can see, the rain is just deluging out there. Don't even know if that's a word, but oof. A little bit steadies up here. Just giving the horse a little bit extra space so that he could create a little bit of energy at the end. So he steadied and then he could come forward again. Nice stretch out here. Really has to steady up for the 4 to number 10. Again, this horse with a very big stride. Shane doing a great job kind of managing that, knowing this horse so well. This horse is just jumping more and more fluid as he's gotten older. A little bit of a touch there in front, but luckily stays up. And he'll be well within our time allowed, 71.29, and on the clear for Shane Sweetnam and James Con Cruz. So we are assured a jump off. You can see they're just wiping off the lens a little bit there because of the rain coming down. But so far we got 2 on the good list. Again, that time allowed 75 seconds. And let's take a look at another Irishman, Michael Duffy. And Michael Duffy is sitting on RMF Clinton's Son, the Rushy Marsh Farm LLC entry. Newer ride here for Michael. Not the biggest horse, but certainly a very, very careful horse. And I'd like to say that he's Irish and used to this weather, but this is real rain. This is really pouring. There's more rain than anyone wants. Steadies up here. Beautiful jump there. Michael's such a beautifully strong but also soft rider. He has that perfect balance, helping to create the energy. And there, that 5 just got away from him. I think he wanted to keep the energy up and make sure he did the 5 and not take away too much by doing 6, but definitely then causing a little bit of trouble because he's just a little bit far off it. Again, you got to curl over that plank delicately and then land and move up. You can't move up before. And just here, just got a little bit away from him. Really jumping these doubles beautifully. Not so often we see 2 oxer vertical doubles on a course. Moves up for the last. Gets over that, but we'll pick up that one down just under that time allowed, 74.57 on the 4 faults for Michael Duffy and RMF Clinton's Son. So bear with us as we just keep wiping that lens because we want to make sure we can see as best as we can with this rather gross weather. We'll see, maybe they're going to take a short pause and see if it just lightens up a little bit. But sitting on 2 clear at the moment. 6 have jumped. 49 coming up for this class. And again, qualifier for Saturday night's big 5-star Grand Prix under the lights. Hopefully the weather will be nicer for that. But nope, looking like we're moving on. And we're moving over to USA's Zaina Rizvi and her wonderful Exquise du Pachi. 14-year-old mare owned by Optimus Agro NV by Vagamond de la Pomme with the Ogana Sita mother. Zaina, of course, jumped on the Nations Cup team last week here for the USA. First senior Nations Cup team, and ended up on the podium in 3rd. Nice in the 9 there. And that is part of our sport, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta bear with the weather sometimes. Just stays on it there for the 8. She did that well, then just catches her a little bit coming out of that double, has that down behind. She kind of stayed out and then had to move up a little bit. Had a little bit of the momentum and the balance down as she came out. Does the 6. And a little bit of a touch there at the top of 10. Luckily, that one stays up. Boy, is it pouring out there right now. Nice in the 8. Gets over the back there. And clears the last 71.96. So plenty of time, but does pick up that 1 down coming out of the teal double for Zaina Rizvi and Exquise. Again, that weather out there, this is some of the hardest rain we've seen all season long. We've seen plenty of rain this winter, which has been incredibly unpleasant for us who come to Florida for sunshine and palm trees. But unfortunately, we're getting a lot of rain. I will say it is quite warm out there, unlike earlier in season where it was about pouring rain and freezing. So not too cold, but can't feel too good when you are sopping wet. All right, let's take a look at Ireland's Paul O'Shea. Paul is sitting on Oil Lily Vent Eigenlow. 10-year-old mare owned by the Trelawney Farm LLC by Vigo Darsui with the Montender mother. I saw this horse jump a little bit earlier in the season. It's had some really good results. Paul, of course, winning one of the big 4 stars early on in season. Very difficult Grand Prix. I think there were only 3 clear that day. That was a late fall there for the Liverpool. Just looked like touched it a little bit. And then a little bit far off that on the teal. Just stayed out on the track maybe, and then just ended up a tiny bit off it and has the back pole coming into the double, which is always the risk of an Oxer vertical double. And, you want to keep the power up, but sometimes if you're a little bit far off it, the back pole can come as the horses go to set themselves to jump B. Jump that well. Steadies up, gets right to the base. Super careful there, but then you can see a little bit similarly to what happened to McLean. Gets so to the base of it and just not able to get out of that double. Course designer really testing the rider's abilities to compress the horse's stride and keep the energy level up late in the course, and also short to a double to another short line. So you need power for that double in the middle of it, but of course you're doing short to short. So hard to keep that up when you can't use speed. Gets over the last, but with a little bit of a circle in there. 88.71. We'll pick up 16 faults, 14 on the clock. Going into 8th at the moment for Paul O'Shea. And Oil Lily. So 2 clears so far. But we're still early in this $116,000 $100,000 CSI 5-star Adequan WEF Challenge Cup. And it's more like going swimming today than it is jumping, because boy, is it unpleasant looking out there. Bit windy. All right, we're taking a look at Rome and Kathleen Driscoll of the USA Plain Bay Farm entry. 14-year-old gelding by Norway de la Land with the Attila 3 mother. Kathleen's been having a couple good weeks here. Last 5-star a couple weeks ago, she won the meter 50 speed. She's been having some very strong results. This horse, of course, very, very scopy. Big stride. She got right up to the base of that. Maybe a little bit of a touch coming out. As you can see, the water on the lens causing our cameraman not to know where the horse is because he can't see it. It's like driving a car when it's raining. You need a windshield wiper on the camera. A little bit of a rub there. She was a little bit close, but jumped out beautifully. Gets over 10. She looks a little patient to me. We'll take a look at how her time ends up. Again, this horse, not the quickest across the ground. She does have the back pole there. Moves up there in the 4. All right, 75.91 with 9 faults for Kathleen Driscoll and Rome. And as you can see, it is just coming on down. And happily, I am sitting in a nice dry booth at the moment, but everyone else is getting wet. And we'll see, it's real windy out there at the moment as well. This is not ideal conditions for show jumping, but sometimes it's just how it goes. Luckily, we have wonderful footing here on the ground. The sand footing that we have is an all-weather arena. It can really handle a tremendous amount of rain, and it's still absolutely stays solid for the horses to jump on. All right, we are going to look at our next one, and it's going to be David O'Brien and Chansonet Farm LLC and the Leap Year Farm LLC entry of El Baloo Old. Okay, so looking like, because our lens is not so easily viewable, we are taking a look at El Baloo Old and David O'Brien, but I don't think we are having the ability to film that for you guys. We are going to take a little bit of a 15-minute break here after David jumps and see if we can get some of this heavy band of rain to pass over, because it is unpleasant there. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to take a little bit of a 15-minute break, just try to let this rain pass over, and we'll be back with you guys shortly, hopefully, for more show jumping action here for the Adequan WEF Challenge Cup. Stay tuned, everyone. 15 minutes, and we will be back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Yay, we made it. All right. Looks like the rain has subsided. It has passed over, and we are back with the $116,000 CSI 5-star Adequan WEF Challenge Cup. I believe 9 have jumped, 2 are clear, and now we're going to see the remaining 40 that are going to compete today in today's Alan Wade set class. Of course, there was a big rain delay, which was rather unpleasant for those who had to ride through it. It was some seriously heavy rain, but now even the sun is attempting to peek out again. And of course, we're going to get underway with Miss Catherine A. Dinan and the Grant Road Partners, LLC, Daniel Schwartz entry, Abrego R&B. 18-year-old gelding Binamalis with the Garlinas mother. One of the oldest horses in the class. Abrego has been an amazing partner for Katie over the years. And off she goes. Let's review the course again. 9 strides, 1 to 2 has been the general. We've seen a couple of 10s as well. She gets over that. It's going to be a right-hand turn to the net Jets Oxer. 7 strides, patient, down to this Liverpool. There you can see her steady up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right to the base of that beautiful jump. You can see him really open up behind. And now it's a left-hand turn to the plank. She moves up in the 5, big jump there. Gets to the base. Steadies up here in the 6. That was beautifully done. Steadies up. This horse really steadies up well and nice and easy for her. And now it's a right-hand turn. Oxer vertical double at the Adequan double. Eight strides to the skinny, a little bit of a touch. We've seen actually a lot of horses touch that, but it not come down. Gets through the end, just under that time allowed, 74.52. I'm sure she is happy that it was worth that break. So we're starting us out with our 10th rider going clear. So that means we've got 3 clear now. And certainly worth that break. Footing is excellent out there. This footing can take so much water, so it's actually looking solid as can be out there. All right, so another clear, and we're going to move on to Mexico's Carlos Hank Guerrero. And he is sitting on H5 Origi Horta. The H5 Sport Horses LLC entry, owned by Carlos Hank Gonzalez and H5 Sport Horses. And 10-year-old Belgian-bred gelding by Casanova with the Vigo Darsui mother. All right, he's been riding so well recently. Had some great results. Won a 3-star and up in Ocala. Won the meter 50 a couple weeks ago. And he's sitting on Origi today. So we've got 3 clear at the moment. It's almost like an entirely different class now that the weather is nice. Those that jumped early really had to struggle through the rain, but look how beautiful jump that. Really curled around the front part, opened up nice behind. Moves up there, beautiful jump. Did a good job there. The horse kind of landed shallow. It actually helped set him up beautifully to steady up in the 6 there. Actually worked out really, really well. Sort of just came down early near the edge of 8. Beautiful jump. This is really jumping through the doubles excellently. Maybe a little bit on the slow side. I don't know if he's going to quite make it. He's going to be right on that edge, and he is going to be over. 75.84 is that time. So he does pick up the 1 time fault. Just 0.8 of a second over, but a beautiful jumping round, especially through those doubles. Absolutely beautiful technique. And on the 1 time. Okay, we're now going to take a look at who is our next one. I think it's looking like Daisy Farish. Daisy Farish of the USA, sitting on Orwell SCF. 10-year-old gelding owned by the Lane's End Show Jumping by Dictator Van de Booslandova and the Heartbreaker Mother. This horse has been jumping so well for her. She had a great round a couple of weeks ago in this Challenge Cup. Jumped out on the field a few weeks ago, great. This horse also big stride, but really active hind leg. Great expression. This horse really kind of grabs the ground. She really steadies up here for the 8. Using her eye to come around the turn here. Squeeze with that outside leg, guide with the outside rein. Make sure the horse follows around the turn. Beautiful there. Definitely liking the 5 there. We saw an early 6, but mostly everyone doing the 5. Did get away from 1 or 2 people. There, she really steadies up. Bit of a hard rub behind coming in, but luckily she sort of hit the top of the pole, so it just kind of bounced up and down in the cup without actually rolling anywhere. Big jump in here, jumps out well. Steadies up early, so she had nice space there. She can even sit up in the 4 to the last. She also, however, will pick up a time fault, 75.61, so beautifully ridden round, but 1 on the clock for Daisy Farish and Orwell SCF. So it's looking like our time allowed of 75 seconds is right on the mark, set by Alan Wade, of course. And like I said, with a lot of related distances, not many places to kind of make up that time. If you choose to do any of the ads or you take 1 or too many strides here or there around a turn, it makes it very easy to go over that time allowed. All right, and now all the way from Europe, it's going to be Great Britain's Harry Charles, 24-year-old, and he is sitting on Casco Blue. Harry, I think it's ranked 13th in the world. Tremendous young rider. And he's now over here for the last few weeks of season, sitting on Casco Blue. Entry owned and ridden by him himself, as well as Peter Charles and Stalzette. Really opening up beautifully behind. Harry's such a natural rider. Just keeps things very simple. Great body control. You can see the lower leg just goes back a little bit, but the upper body stays up. Horses really jump up to him. Steadies up here, but keeps the energy. Gets that last stride done. Little bit of a leg coming out. A little bit close there at the avocado poles. Beautiful there. One left to go. He's fine on the time. Gets through that. Nice and simple, 73.25. For Harry Charles and Casco Blue, adding their name to the good list. 4 clear at the moment. So absolutely making light of today's course. No trouble at all for his first big outing here. Don't know if he's actually ever shown here in Wellington before, but he's brought a few horses over, and he's here and he means business. Starting off with a great clear round. All right. We've seen a couple of scratches, probably due to the weather and people just saying, you know what, time to call it a day while it was pouring. But now it's not raining at all. Looks just fine. All right. We are just waiting on our next one to come in. Again, 4 clear at the moment for this $116,000 $100,000 CSI 5-star Adequan WEF Challenge Cup. And again, of course, thanks to today's sponsor, which is Adequan. An American Region Animal Health, maker of Adequan. Its polysulfated glycosaminoglycan is proud to sponsor today's class. For over 30 years, Adequan has been trusted by veterinarians, trainers, and horse owners. Visit Adequan.com to learn more. All right, looking like our next one has made their way into the class, or into the ring. And it looks like Eduardo Pereira de Meneses in the H5 Sport Horses LLC entry, Nagano de la Palma. Representing his home nation of Brazil, 43-year-old rider. And he is sitting on this 11-year-old gelding by Cadeau de Muse with the Chin Chin mother. So, seen enough scratches. It's looking like and Eduardo underway now. That's the hard call, right? When it's raining and pouring and you think, you know what, it's not going to get any better, and you make the call to scratch and go home. There just looked like the front legs were not even when he jumped that. It was a little bit low with the one front leg to have that down. Could see he just wasn't quite square with those legs as he jumped over the top pole. Beautiful up in the 5. This horse a little bit long head to tail. And there, just gets there a little bit early at 9A, has the front pole down. I was thinking already, 9A, a lot of people have rubbed it, actually. I think that might have been one of the first or second times that it's come down. But I don't think that that double is the easiest to jump on the course. Really careful there at the skinny. And a big jump at the last. Just under that time allowed, 74.72 on the 8 faults for Eduardo and Nagano. So, solid round, but picking up the 2 on the course. Again, sitting on the 4 clear at the moment. And actually looking like Theodore Mancias and Spencer Smith, who are supposed to go before Eduardo, are now going at this point. 27-year-old rider for the USA. And Spencer is sitting on his longtime partner. It's the Ashland Farms entry by Cashmere with the Powerlight mother. Again, like I said, 17 years old, longtime partner. This has been a great horse for Spencer over the years. Jumped really well in the Challenge Cup a couple of weeks ago. And again, I was talking to Spencer, and he said that his plan this week, of course, things can always change, but his plan was to jump Theodore in this class, and then if he qualifies, try to use Keeneland, a newer mount of his, in the Grand Prix. So he does have the one down. That offset Liverpool with those sort of orangey tangerine poles, not the easiest jump. We've seen it come down a couple of times already today. Again, anytime you have one of those offset Liverpools, just set, which when I say offset, I mean a little bit behind the poles. Not only does it create a little bit of a false ground line for the horses, but it draws their eye down and away from the top pole. There, Theodore just looking like he kicked his legs down kind of in the middle, kind of pulled himself over the jump versus pushing. And looking like Spencer maybe gonna call it a day. So not for Spencer and Theodore today. Again, longtime partner, knows he doesn't have a chance to win it already with a few clear, and he says, we're gonna save him for another day. 17-year-old horse, of course. No need to keep jumping for no reason. So he will retire within the round, and we will move on to Derek Kenny And Dara is sitting on his wonderful mount, Eddie Blue. This is the horse that he rode in our Nations Cup last week. He had a clear in the first round, I believe one down in the second, but absolutely picture perfect in that first round. Helping Ireland to the win in that Nations Cup last week here. This horse owned by Carol Solak as well as Carrie Ann LLC. 12-year-old gelding Eddie Blue. It's by Eldorado, which of course, when we talk about Eldorado, we talk about a huge, huge scope. And Dara, I know, thinks really highly of this horse. He said every time he comes out, he just jumps clear round after clear round. And it's been a tremendous animal for him. It's careful. It's very scopy. Great type. And look at that. That was such a clever, smart move by Dara there. The horse jumped up and high, and he thought, all right, time allowed. He knows is tight. He landed, made sure the horse finished the vertical, and then immediately put his leg on and said, come on, gallop away from the jump. Here's the time to make, here's the place to make up time. That was super well executed. Very, very smart riding by Dara. And look at that, really short in the stride. You could see the difference in the stride length. The horse really slowed down, took his time, balanced up in that 4. Creates the energy again here in the oxer. Moves up a little bit to the last, gets a big one, and just over that time allowed, 75.55. One time fault for Derek Kenny and Eddie Blue. So absolutely beautiful round, but that time is definitely snug. You could tell Dara was thinking about it. I mentioned it earlier in the course. I thought he was really absolutely trying to stay within that time allowed, but it is snug enough. We've seen a lot of time faults, and a good chunk of the class has definitely had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 horses already having time faults in this class. So that is certainly an issue. All right, let's take a look at Dawa de Green Bay Z, the Stefex Stables entry with Zoe Conter. 12-year-old Zangerside Stallion by Diarardo with the Shilling mother. Zoe's been having a great season so far. She was, I believe, second in the Grand Prix last week for our CSIO 4-star. Very, very difficult Grand Prix that we saw. Only 5 jump clear. Ben Mayer winning that class. But Zoe had a tremendous round, double clear round, actually, to finish in second. So she was super. Good athletic move there by the horse. And this has been such a nice horse for her, a real compact kind of jumper. And Zoe just been riding so consistent, steadies up here. Could see she really made that adjustment early. You could see her hands move, and then she made the adjustment, and then she could just sit still and have the nice balance going into 9A. That was very well executed. Takes the first one out of the corner here. Gets that done. Needs to slow up a little bit. Nice and patient. Yeah. Maybe just a little bit close there at the skinny to the last, so she'll pick up 4 faults. 71.96 is the score for Zoe and Dawa de Green Bay. So very, very solid round, just having that one down near the end at the skinny. Could see she took that big one out of the corner to the Adequan and then had a little bit of a rolling gallop coming down to that skinny. Just the balance was a little bit down. All right, now we're going to take a look at Ireland's Cian O'Connor, 60th ranked rider in the world, and he continues to climb up those rankings. Such a strong field and string of horses he has at the moment. And this one, he is sitting on Fancy de Kergane, 9-year-old Celle Francais stallion owned by Coolmore Show Jumping and Susan Magner. Berden de Kergane is the sire of this horse, and this horse just been developing beautifully for Cian. And Cian having such a strong program with so much support behind him, so much not only team support, but the way that he structures his ownership a little bit different than a lot of the other riders out there. He maintains ownership in all of his horses. He says that he wants to show any of his owners and supporters that he believes in these animals as much as they do. And look at this one, developing so beautifully, jumping incredible. Look at the shape this horse gets around the jumps. Beautiful and great timing there. There you could see he landed really short in the stride, but also then put his leg back on to keep the energy. And thinking about that time allowed, trying to keep the energy up again. This turn and the turn roll back on that plank are one of the only two places on the course to actually make some time up. Nice space here. Gets a great jump. The horse really jumped away from that skinny. Gets over the last. He's a little close on the time, but he will be okay. 74.03. Look at that smile on Kian's face. He's looking very happy. And that means we're going up to 5 clear at the moment. And that's Fancy to Caregain, making it 5 on the good list. So super round there for Kian and the young 9-year-old. Developing beautifully. And look at those big pets. He's got to be happy, as he should be. Time certainly tight today. Looks like the jumping is doable, but we've seen plenty with those time faults. And I have a feeling the order is a little bit screwed up at the back gate just because of the weather and a lot of scratches and people shifting. And maybe they went back to the barn during the inclement weather and then taking a long time to get back up here. Screws with everybody's timeline. But not Dermot Lennon's. Ireland's Dermot Lennon is coming in now, and he is sitting on Millview Cicero. His own entry on the 10-year-old Irish-bred gelding by Cicero with the unknown Damsire. Bronte Stables limited entry. Again, 5 clear at the moment. Let's see if another Irishman can add their name to the list. All right. So, course is looking absolutely jumpable, but certainly difficult with the steady lines up near the end. And of course, that very tight time allowed is always a factor. You know, the tighter that time allowed, if you have extra time, you can really set up and take your time and jump sort of each line separately. Whereas in this case, where it's a lot of related distances and a very, very tight time, you're really forced to just keep going to the next jump and never take a moment to take a deep breath and get maybe the balance back or the organization. Beautiful jump there. Coming into that double, a really big jump. Very, very cool jump in here. Looking strong. Steady's up. Steady's a little bit late maybe, but makes it work. There we go. You got to remember that whole line from 8 to 9. It's steady in the 6. The double is kind of riding pretty scopy with the vertical coming in, and then steady again. Really test for the riders there. And a late fault there at the skinny coming down the last line. So he will pick up that 1 down. 74.12 is his time. So he stays within that time allowed, but does pick up the 4 faults for Dermot Lennon and Millview Cicero. Looking like we're back on track with our order now, and we've moved on to the Gotchman Sport Horses LLC entry, Mimi Gotchman and Selena B.H. This is the mare that she rode to a 2nd place finish in our 4-star Grand Prix a couple of weeks ago out on the grass. And of course, Mimi, such a wonderful young rider here for the U.S., just 19 years of age. And she's sitting on the 14-year-old mare, Biconstacco with the Cartago mother. She's jumped some wonderful rounds with this horse. I believe she was on the Nations Cup team for the U.S. last year. And this horse just always doing kind of what she needs to do, but it's been such a tremendous partnership for the two of them. really taking Mimi up to this 5-star level. And look at that body control from Mimi, just so strong. Very accurate, rarely making any kind of errors. Just a little extra leg there coming out. Ugh, unfortunately, just jumping a little bit low. The horse just didn't quite, you know, like I said, not the most extravagant jumper, and normally she's very careful. She really knows where the poles are, but just maybe a little casual there at number 10. Gets over that easy. I mean, very scopy, jumps easy, but she will also pick up one time fault. 75.26 is that time, so just 0.2 of a second over, but total of 5 on the course for Mimi and Selena. So good solid round, but with the one fault and the one down on the course. All right, 5 clear, holding at that number. And again, we'll see how many people finish up this class with the rain delay. It was quite a long rain delay, and like I said, that can really screw not only with your timing for the wonderful grooms who had to take the horses maybe back to the barn to avoid the weather, but mentally it's actually hard to sort of regain composure when you sort of have a timeline of your day of when you know you're going to compete and then that gets screwed up. Certainly can be distracting for the riders. But hopefully not for USA's Lily Keenan. Lily's sitting on Agana Van Het Garendal Zed, the Chansonet Farm LLC entry of the 13-year-old stallion. Lily currently ranked in our top 50, 48th in the world as we stand at the moment. This has been a wonderful horse for her over the years. And just such a reliable partner for Lily. And she will be underway. All right, let's see. She's getting started. I was trying to look up the stats on this horse because I think he has a very, very high clear round rate, but couldn't find them. Oh, and I jinxed him. Look at that. That offset Liverpool has come down really a lot today. You know, it's a steady 7 off that first line. It's early on in the course. There's a 90-degree bend after it. Those sort of sandy colored poles, they kind of look like the ground. Hard for the horses to see. Look at that super strong ride there from Lily. You could see she really added leg. Actually so strong that she ends up having the front pole down behind at number 8. Not a fault that we see so often, just because it tells you that the arc of the horse was a little bit past it, meaning that when he took off, that the hind legs had more speed and more power than the front legs, and that the highest point of the arc was past the center point of the jump. Gets over the last, but we'll pick up those 2 down on the course. 8 faults, 72.90 for Lily Keenan and Agana. All right. Still sitting on those 5 clear. And we're now going to take a look at our 32nd in the order, in the original order at least. And it's going to be Rupert Carl Winkelmann and Calvados' son. It's 12-year-old gelding owned by the Eichendorff Horses GmbH & Co. And it's funny, it's not listed in the FEI here, but I would bet that it's a Calvado. But that's just me guessing from its name. Rupert was here earlier on in season. He had some really great results. Won one of our 150 speed classes. And then he was, I think, went back to Europe for a week or 2. And now he's back. Recently started working with Sean Crooks. Sean training a number of top riders out there at the moment, including the wonderful rider from Greece, Ioli Mytilineou. This is looking beautiful at the moment. Good strong ride there. The horse really opened up nice behind. Steadies up there. You can see he kind of cantered down the line, then made an adjustment late. Just slinks over that vertical. It's going to have to keep the horse's balance up and the energy up so we can get over that. Now comes the delicate skinny. Make sure to give him space. Ooh, gets over it. One left to go. I think he's fine on the time. And there we go, 74.50. And that means that Rupert will add his name to the good list, bringing our count up to 6 for this 5-star Adequan WEF Challenge Cup. Of course, this is a Grand Prix in its own right. 116, $100,000. Meter 50, might even be a couple of meter 55 jumps out there. This is certainly a big class. Again, a qualifier for Saturday night's big 5-star Grand Prix under the lights. But 6 on the good list so far. All right, we're going to move on to USA's Vanessa Hood and Take Two LLC entry, Van Vidi Tayopahova Z. 41-year-old rider for the U.S. Riding with Norman Delajoyo. And this horse is an 11-year-old Zanger-sided gelding by Vagrant with the Calvados mother. Vanessa really stepping up to these 4- and 5-star level in over recent period and been doing very, very well. Just off the bat, I would say she looks a little bit slow. She really took her time around that turn. And again, there's really only basically 2 or 3 rollbacks on the entire course where you have a chance to make up the time. And we'll have to keep an eye on it, but I will say I think she looked quite slow and wide from 2 to 3. And she's certainly taken her time here. And again, this is a bigger horse. There she moves up in the 5, but you could see had the plank down behind. And they're having A down, jumped up out of B well, touched it, but that stayed up. A little bit of a rub at the avocado poles at the fan jump. And again, already, I think she's got 10 seconds left to get home. I think she's definitely going to be a little bit on the slower side. She stays here on the inside track, does 7. We've seen mostly 8s. That set up the 4 nice, but she does have the skinny down. So, yeah, you could see there a couple time faults. 5 on the clock, 12 jumping, 79.10. Is that time allowed? Or is that time? And that will be the round for Vanessa. All right, we're going to move on to Erin Ballard, representing Canada. 43-year-old rider, 34th ranked rider in the world. I think the 2 Canadians are actually the 2 highest ranked females in the world. It's Tiffany Foster and Erin Ballard. So Canada strong on the female side. Amy Miller also super strong female Canadian. But today Erin Ballard sitting on the 12-year-old Dutch-bred gelding Hero. It's the Elon Furter and Esperanza Imports LLC entry. Erin jumped some great rounds in the Nations Cup to help Canada finish in 2nd place last week. Nice strong ride there. Horse opened up really well. They're jumping that double really, really well. There's enough space in that bending 8 to really get a good shot at it. but they're jumping the other double at the end at 9AB, much less. Let's see, it's coming up now. Gets a good shot here. Steadies up. Gets over that. Jumps out beautifully. Oh, unfortunately, does have the back pole as well as number 10 coming down. Jumped up really well. Maybe just jumped up a little high and not quite across it. But jumped through this double really well. Again, no triple on the course today, only doubles. She stays on that inside track there. Just thinking about the time. And she'll be fine on the clock, 71.78, but we'll pick up the 2 on the course. 8 faults for Erin and Hero. Okie dokie. Now we're going to move on to a rider who we've not seen yet here in Wellington, making her debut for this season. It is Germany's Kendra Clarissa Brinkhope. Ranks 97th in the world, 29-year-old rider. And Kendra is riding the StefX Stables entry in time. There you can see StefX Stables STX Scuderia 1918, capital SRL. Owners of this horse, Biscayo is the sire. Actually, I have it listed as Ecorda. Wonder, I have to look that up, actually. With a Tangelo mother. Kendra, of course, super rider, riding for the StefX Stables. Has had tremendous results in Europe in recent months, recent years, actually. But does such a good job with all different types of horses that she rides at StefX. Successful on so many different types. And again, that's such a great sign of a super rider, somebody who can ride many, many different types of horses successfully. And not only does she develop them well, but she's super competitive. Horses like her, they jump well for her. Great use there of her upper body to really slow the horse down, give it the time to jump around the front pole there, because she was a little bit close maybe at A. But she's really using her upper body to give that space. Here, horse not maybe wanting to turn so easily, but she keeps the leg on to make sure that he comes through the corner. Stays on the inside. We're seeing a lot more people actually do the 7 to the 4 in the last line. And look at that, just under that time allowed, 74.39. Beautiful opening round here for Kendra. And in time, so clear and into our jump off. They'll be our 7th to qualify for the tiebreaker, which will be coming up in a little bit. Very exciting jump off coming up. Big class here today. Again, $116, a $100,000 5-star Adequan WEF Challenge Cup. But let's see if USA's Brian Cornane and Mr. and Mrs. Stiller and his own entry, Armick. 2009 Oldenburg Gelding by Armitage. But let's see what he's doing. Of course, this has been a long time partnership for Captain Cornane. It's quite a big horse, very, very scopy. Again, by Armitage too. Armitage, there's not so many of them, but there have been some really good ones. It's a German stallion that, again, we don't see so many, but the ones that we do see, we really like. Ooh. Hard rub there in front at the plank, at the black plank. It shook in the cups. You could see some water from the rain come off it, but it stayed up. And there, another super hard rub at A. Touched it hard behind, kind of popped out of the cups, but stayed up. So, looking lucky at the moment. Big jump there. A little bit right to left angle, kind of through the double. He's really on that inside track for the 7. And there you could see Brian tried to sit up a little bit early because he knew the 4 was going to come up short after the 7 and just not able to finish the jump behind. So he'll pick up the 1 down, 74.73. Gets it in that time allowed, but does pick up the 1 on the course. So 4 faults there. Again, 7 clear at the moment. And look, you can even see the sun coming out. A little reflection on the shiny helmet of our next entry, which is, of course, USA's Kristen Vanderveen. And the Bull Run Jumpers Incorporated entry, Bull Runs Jira. 10-year-old gelding by Eureka with the Coleman mother. All right, she's just waiting for that start clock. And this also has been a great partnership for Kristen. And she just keeps things simple. No martingale. Has that breastplate on, helps keep that saddle in place, but no martingale restricting the head and neck movement of the horse. And actually not that martingales are restrictive, but they do sometimes help with a little bit of control. But Kristen clearly feeling like she does not need so much on Jira. Wow, big jump there at number 3. Steadies up here, really careful move there. You could see the horse was a little bit inverted on takeoff, but jumped amazing there as well. Super athletic, jumped really far into that double, landed kind of past the track, and did a good job to back up and jump around. B, very athletic. Quick turn back there on that plank. Really trusted the carefulness. This horse is absolutely flying at the moment. Kristen has such great natural timing. Oh, unfortunately, having A and B, had A landed a little bit shallow from that and then jumped up real high and ended up coming down shallow on the back pole. Then she looked like she's really taking her time here. She'll probably pick up a couple of time faults just because she really slowed up after that. Stays out here, gets to the base of the skinny, and then moves up in the 4. But she will pick up a couple of those time faults. 3 penalties on the clock, 8 on the course. 11 total, and going into 25th place for Kristen and Jira. So started out beautifully, a little bit of trouble through 9A and B. Again, 9A and B has probably been the most difficult part of today's course. We've seen faults in a lot of different places, but that last double down the very short line has certainly been particularly difficult. All right, now we're going to take a look at Colombia's Roberto Terán Tafur and his own entry, Des Octof. 16-year-old stallion by Colandro with the Lys Rouge mother. And it's owned by Maria Camila Gonzalez, Lola Terán, and Roberto himself. Representing his home nation of Colombia. This also has been a long-time partnership of his. And this horse, very, very, very scopy. Very big gallop. By Colandro, which was a horse that bred a lot as a young horse. Usually producing horses with lots and lots of blood. Actually, not always the easiest horses, but we see a surprising number of eventers come out of Colandro. And the jumpers tend to be really scopy. And they're just struggling a little bit on takeoff at A, and then you could see he was a little bit behind the motion trying to just stay with the horse at B. Lucky that the horse actually stayed really brave, jumped through the whole double so he could keep going, but struggling there at the double. Steadies up, the big gallop, gets out nicely, steadies up again there. Real kind of equitation line of steady, then sit up for the double, then steady again. Like I said, real rider's line that. Just stays on it there on the 7. Then he could steady up for the 4. I actually quite like the 7 to the 4 down the last, but he will pick up one time fault, 75.93, 2 jumping, 1 on the clock, total of 9 going into 25th place. So just trouble at that teal double, A and B coming down, but otherwise jumped a nice round. All right, we're going to move on. Again, still sitting on the 7 clear. We did see a number of horses scratch out of this class because of the weather. However, we're still seeing some wonderful combinations, jump some beautiful rounds, and let's see if Australia's Tyza Erwin can add her name to the good list on the Michael and Wendy Smith entry, Hialeah B. This horse by Emerald, 12-year-old mare. She's jumped some wonderful rounds on this horse. Early on in season, under the lights, jumped some really super rounds. This horse, very, very talented. Something about this horse looks fun to ride. Beautiful jump there. Very, very simple. Horses really like Tyza. I think she really loves her horses, and she keeps coming around that turn there. It was a little bit disunited around the corner, but with the cross canter, but that actually didn't matter whatsoever. She was very quick there. Now she'll have to slow down a lot here. Wow, horse did a great kind of skip move to slow down. That was really, really great how that happened. Oh, and there, maybe catching up with her a little bit. This horse can get a little bit quick, just having that down behind. Gets through here. We'll need to take her time here. Let the horse finish behind. And then she could even steady up for the 4 coming down the last. So she'll pick up just that 1 down, 4 faults, 73.83 is the time. So got through the difficult double, but maybe had a lot of speed and just having it down behind. So just the 4 for Hialeah and Tyza. All right, now we're going to move on to the Brazilian lady, Luciana Locio, and her wonderful horse, Lady Louise Jimen. And this horse is owned and ridden by Luciana herself. And it's a Brazilian-bred horse by Landario with the Jalisco mother. Again, Brazilian breeding, we don't see this Landario very often outside. We don't see it at all outside of Brazil. At least I haven't. But this has been a tremendous horse for her. She jumped on the Nations Cup team for Brazil last week. Early on in season, she jumped this horse. I think she finished on the podium, I believe. Second maybe in that 4-star that Tiffany Foster won. But this is such a hot little mare, 14 years old, but tremendous partnership they have. This also looks like a fun horse to ride. So much blood. And such a trier there. She just looked like she kind of held off a little bit when she was 1 stride away and maybe ended up a little bit far away from it and just jumped over the front pole, but you could see her just die on it with energy as she kind of took off, and she just didn't have enough to get across it. Sits up nice through this double. Balances up here to the skinny. A little bit close there, but gets over the last. Quick time, 71.30, but on the 4 faults. She will go into 12th place at the moment, so still in the money, but won't make it into our jump off. Again, looking like we've got 5 or so left to jump, and sitting on the 7 clear at the moment. All right, we're going to move on to Ireland's Jordan Coyle, 76th ranked rider in the world, and he is sitting on the Falkirk Farm LLC entry for gold. This was the entry that he rode to a podium finish on our first 5-star week under week 5 here at the Winter Equestrian Festival. And it was a tremendous performance for Jordan. Finished up in 3rd that night, but really tremendous. Had some early results in the season as well out on the grass field with this horse. Not the biggest horse, but very, very scopy. It's a 13-year-old gelding by For Fashion with the heraldic mother. Of course, For Fashion, they all have the 4 gold, For Fashion, and they are by For Pleasure is the grandfather on the father's side here. So the sire of this horse is a For Pleasure son. You can tell they all jump very similarly. All kind of similar gallops, a little bit flat across the ground, tend to have a lot of white on them. And they all kind of carry their head and neck in a very similar way. Jump a little bit straight through the top line, but all very, very scopy, tend to have big strides. And they're kind of slinked over A, but didn't matter. Similar here. This horse not wasting any time in the air, but it is a very efficient jumper. And Jordan, super fast rider. Just keeping it organized here. Well done there. Balanced up, moved up to the last. Well within that time allowed. 72.27 and clear for 4 gold and Jordan Coyle. So bringing our count up to 8 at the moment for this jump off, which will be coming up in just a few more rounds. Luckily, the sun is shining at the moment. And we're going to move on to the gold medal, the team gold medal combination, gold medal winning combination, Eddie Blue and Devin Ryan. Representing the home nation of the USA for the LL Show Jumpers LLC entry of the 15-year-old gelding by Zirocco Blue with the Marlon mother. And of course, they won the team gold for the USA in Tryon for the World Championships. Longtime partner. Devin's been riding this horse since he was 5 years old. He's down here for the weekend from Ocala, where he is normally based during the winter season. And then up in New Jersey during the summer. Steadies up, jumps that one well. Again, Eddie has a very, very big stride. So Devin always just thinking about how to utilize that. Keeps moving a little bit here. Nice shot there at the Oxford. He really has to slow down here. Jumps up around that. Puts his leg on because Eddie landed a little bit shallow and a little bit to the right there coming out of the double. So that 4 was not as short as I bet he anticipated it to be. Adds the leg there. Stays on the inside for the 7. Jumps that. Even steadies up here for the 4. Gets over that well within the time allowed. 73.91 and clear for Devin Ryan and Eddie Blue. So that is going to bring us up to 9 now on the good list. But super round there for Devin and the old schoolmaster, Eddie Blue. All right, we've got 3 left on our original list. Oh, looking like we don't actually have 3 left. That might have been our last one to compete in the first round. Looking like those 3 at the end decided not to jump, perhaps because of that weather. So that means we're going to have 9 coming back for our jump off, and they are setting for that now. And of course, stay tuned, everyone, because we'll be back in just a minute for the conclusion of the $116,000 CSI 5-star Adequan WEF Challenge Cup. We'll be back in a second. Stay tuned for more action to conclude today's jumping. So don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the conclusion of the $116,000 CSI 5-star Adequan WEF Challenge Cup. Very exciting jumping here today, especially because the weather was horrific to begin with. But of course, our trailblazer from round one, he was first to go as it started to rain, and that was Eugenio Garza Perez of Mexico and Challery PS, the El Milagro entry of the 10-year-old stallion by Choco Blue with the Balubé Duruwe mother, owned by David Garza and Monica Garza. All right, we're going to take a look at our jump-off course. And he had a beautiful first round. Again, he was the first one to go. Time allowed proved to be very, very tight. He had no trouble with that. His original time was 73.70. And time allowed for this jump-off, 48 seconds. Again, that won't matter so much. But starts off the right, brand new jump at the Brain Juice Oxer in the far corner of the far end of the ring by the VIP. Should be 7 strides. Let's see what he does. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now left-handed turn back to the original number 1. Still the vertical at the Mars jump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the Liverpool. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to number 10. Now right-hand turn back on the Adequan double. Oxer vertical. Big shot in. Oh, what a shame. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the last. I do believe there's a 9 there at the end, but he took a shot. It just didn't work. 36.63 is that time to get us started. 4 faults for Eugenio Garza. Again, a lot of money on the line. 5-star class here today. And he gave it a shot. It was a great effort, but sometimes in show jumping, it just doesn't work out. He was really on that angle to the Adequan, had a lot of speed, and the horse thinking about the balance to jump B and had the back pull. So, all right, next up, Shane Sweetnam and James Con Cruz. He jumped a beautiful round in the absolute deluge of the rain, and now he's back with the sun shining. So I'm sure he's happy not to have to get wet again. But he looks pretty dry, actually, like you wouldn't even know. He's sitting on the 11-year-old gelding, James Con Cruz, owned by the Gizmo Partners, LLC, and by Cannon. Let's see what he's got. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Walks the 7, super easy. Neat turn back. This even looks faster than Eugenio's. Very good shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He does the 10, so same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Same there. Oh, has that down, maybe anticipating the turn a little bit. Then he gives himself a little bit of patience here. Jumps beautifully. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the last. So 37.38 is his time. 4 faults as well. He'll go into second at the moment. So super effort. Very quick down the last line, but has the 1 down. So no double clears at the moment. And again, 9 total jumping off. And let's see if the young British superstar, Harry Charles and Casco Blue, let's see what they can do. Looking like maybe Katie Dinan is elected not to jump off on her older mount, Brago. So maybe we're going to only see 8 coming back. But that is definitely Harry Charles and not Katie Dinan. Harry just winding up here, waiting for that start clock is going. And he can be so fast. Again, a lot of Americans don't know Harry, but Harry is absolute lightning. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Easy there. Very quick. This horse also very, very quick horse. Oh, wow. Clears it. Not what he wanted for sure. Horse got a little bit stuck in the corner. For sure he wanted to do with the 1 less. But just kind of held his upper body. Didn't worry so much about it. Said we just got to leave the jump up. It definitely does slow him down a little bit. Gets over that, pitched a little bit right to left, kind of the opposite angle of what you really want. But stays quick here. And again, this horse very quick. Does the 9 to the last and touches the back pole. Clear, 39.76. He will go into the lead, but I don't know if that's going to hold. Again, they got to come chase him. So 39.37. So he was a little bit slower. You can see Shane's time and Eugenio's time. 36 was Eugenio's, so he was 3 seconds slower. But on the clear, so Harry does go into first at the moment with the double clear. So can't be too upset. Puts him ahead of those 4 falters, even though he knows it could have been a lot faster. So now they got to come catch him. And as easy as that sounds, we all know it's not. You got to leave those jumps up. Just waiting now for our next one to come on up. So again, that leading time, 39.76, set by Harry just now. But we do know that it can be a lot faster, 36.6 for Eugenio and 37.3 for Shane. So we're going to see if Ireland's Cian O'Connor and Fancy to Cairgain can catch the new time set by Harry Charles, 39.76. Cian, of course, been riding so well and really loving this younger up-and-coming one for him. Like I said, beginning of the season, Cian started the year at 100th in the world, and he's moved up 40 places. That is some impressive movement on the world ranking list. There we go. 9-year-old stallion, Cell Francais. Fancy to Cairgain, owned by Coolmore and Susan Magner. All right, he's winding up. Time to beat 39.76. Got to do the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, this horse is absolutely flying. Look at that hind end go. Neat back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So same there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So he stays out, but he gets the left to right angle, so he's already turning back. So the question is, do you gain the time before or the time after, depending on what you choose? 6, 7, 8. Gets the 9 at the end, and he will be a little bit quicker, 39.32, and into the lead for Cian and Fancy to Cairgain. So taking over that lead in this $116,000, $100,000 class. Again, he slowed up a little bit at the end, but does manage to squeak in front of Harry. So that becomes our new time to beat, 39.32 for the Irishman. All right, now we're going to take a look at the German rider, Rupert Karl Winkelmann. And the Eichendorff horses, GmbH & Co. entry, Calvados Sun, 12-year-old gelding. And let's see, we know he won a speed class a couple of weeks ago. Let's see if he can be speedy today to take the win here in the Adequan WEF Challenge Cup. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he gets the 7. And now he's got to be neat here. Cian was actually very efficient around this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All doing 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We know there's a 9 there, but they've knocked it down. So the 10 worked out well. He's got to keep moving here. Slows up a little bit in the turn. And there the front rail comes down. You see he slowed up because I think he realized he was getting there a little short. And slows up a bit to the last, and just a little bit too deep to the last. He'll finish up with 2 down, 8 faults, 40.39 for Rupert and Calvados. They'll go into 5th place at the moment. So that means that Cian's still leading. And 3 left to come. All right. Let's take a look at our next one. And it is so far, and I believe will be the only female in our jump off. Katie Dynan did qualify, but did not jump off. So Kendra Clarissa Brinkhope of Germany and the Stefek Stables entry in time is going to be our sole female representative. 97th in the world. Let's see what she can do. A little female power. And let's see if she can be in time. All right, time to beat 39:32. Let's keep an eye on what she does. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Big jump there. A lot of air time. She's going to have to keep moving. Again, Kian's horse also carries a lot of air time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, got to clear that. She got a good shot there, left to right angle. Really turning back good. She's going to keep the pace up. Let's see what she does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Easy in the 8. Clears that. She's definitely going to take the time. 38:34. And look at that. Kendra Clarissa Brinkhope is well in time for the lead. On in time. 38:34 becomes that new time to beat, and she goes right to the head of the class. All right, 2 left to jump. Both are very speedy. We'll see if they can catch the new time set there by Kendra of Germany. But first of our remaining 2 is going to be Jordan Coyle of Ireland and 4 gold. He's certainly going to go for the gold today. Falkirk Farm LLC entry. And Holsteiner gelding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not a big horse, but a big stride and one of the fastest riders out there. Jordan flying around very quick. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 1 less, and he leaves it up. This horse not wasting any time in the air. Good shot in. Sits up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Does the 9. Clears it, but definitely takes over that lead. Look at that. 2 full seconds faster. 36:29. Jordan Coyle and 4 gold. Certainly went for the gold today, but there's 1 left to challenge. But that becomes our new time to beat. 36:29. Look at that, 2 full seconds. Faster, that was speedy. But of course, that horse for gold not wasting any time in the air. That's what helped Jordan out. But our last to go, the gold medal winning pair from Tryon. It's Devin Ryan and Eddie Blue. Longtime partner. The LL Show Jumpers LLC entry. Let's see what Old Faithful and Eddie Blue can do with Devin Ryan. All right, time to beat 36:29. He's going to have to be very fast. I mean, the only place Jordan did do 9 down the last there. We know there's an 8. Eddie does have a big stride. Let's see what he does. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Quick there. He's still pretty quick here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's on it. Let's see what he can do. He's going to have to be quick here. I thought Jordan was really fast into the double. Maybe Devin did one more than him. Jumps high. He's got to do the 8. And clears the last. No, he doesn't. He actually has the front pole of the last. 39:27 is that time. Almost 3 seconds actually off the pace. Does pick up that last one down. Puts him into 7th. But that means that Devin Ryan will end up in 7th. And Jordan Coyle of Ireland will be our winner for gold. That is going to be in first time, 36:29 in time, and Kendra Clarissa Brinkhope in 2nd, Fancy to Kerrigan and Kian O'Connor in 3rd. Harry Charles and Casco Blue will end up in the 4th spot. Challery PS and Eugenio Garza of Mexico in 5th. Ireland, Shane Sweetnam and James Conn Cruz into 6th, and Eddie Blue into 7th. Rupert Carl Winkelmann in 8th. And of course, Katie Dynan, our one who elected not to jump off and withdrew, will finish up in the 9th spot. And the other Eddie Blue and Derek Henny finish in 10th. So, super round here. Win going to Ireland and Jordan Coyle. He went for the gold, and he won the gold for today's $116,100 CSI 5-star Adequan WEF Challenge Cup. Again, thanks to today's title sponsor, which is Adequan, American Regent Animal Health, maker of Adequan. Polysulfated glycosaminoglycan is proud to sponsor today's class. For over 30 years, Adequan has been trusted by veterinarians, trainers, and horse owners. Visit adequan.com to learn more. Of course, thanks again to Dodd Technologies presenting our live stream. Dodd Technologies is an industry leader in creative design and technology support services for sports, entertainment, corporate, and special events. They're, of course, presenting our live stream all season long here at the Winter Equestrian Festival. And also thanks to today's live stream, which is also presented in part with the support of the U.S. Equestrian Federation and the USEF Network. We thank them. We can see they are powered by Clip My Horse. All right, this has been a wonderful presentation here. Again, we had a little bit of a rain delay. Thank you to those of us who have stuck around and watched the conclusion of the class. It actually is a gorgeous night out there. Almost clear skies at the moment after that deluge of rain we had. But they're just coming in for our prize-giving ceremony. We're just waiting for them to make their way back in. But ended up being a beautiful day. Look at the final results there. Jordan Coyle in 1st and for gold. 2nd, Kendra Clarissa Brinkop. And in time for 2nd, Kian O'Connor in 3rd. Harry Charles in 4th. Mexico's Eugenio Garza Perez in 5th. And 6th to Ireland's Shane Sweetnam. Again, stay tuned all week long. I will be here with you guys reporting on tomorrow's Meter 50 class, as well as getting some behind-the-scenes info from the riders and trainers on Saturday night for Saturday Night Lights Grand Prix. And there's our 3rd place finisher. And of course, I'll be back on Sunday as well for the Meter 50 Classic. 3rd place there, you can see Kian O'Connor and Fancy to Caregain. Good pet, wearing that ribbon down his jacket. That's a nice place for it. Make sure not to bother the horse on the saddle or the bridle. And coming in now for 2nd, Kendra Clarissa Brinkop. And she'll be in 2nd place. And they are just heading up over to the Adequan double for their photo op. Wonderful presentation here for this challenging class. We saw a lot of time faults, but with the weather, it made for a very different type of class today. And again, 30 qualifying from today's class. There's Kian for his photo op, and another 10 coming out of tomorrow's class for the Saturday Night Grand Prix. Congratulations to Kian, and now congratulations to Kendra in 2nd. Her time, 38:34. They're just heading on up for their prize giving. I'm sure they're very happy their prize giving is not in the rain, that they're nice and dry. All right, congratulations there to Kendra and her nice photo op. And there you can see our 1st place winner, Jordan Coyle, and for Fashion, taking the win in today's WEF Challenge Cup. There's our winner for Ireland. Congratulations, Jordan. Wonderful performance. So fast, 2 seconds faster than our 2nd place winner. Time 36:29 for the win for Jordan Coyle. This has been a presentation of Wellington International. I'm Danny Waldman. We're going to have a listen now to the National Anthem of Ireland. But I will be back with you guys tomorrow. Thanks again for watching. And catch you next time, everyone. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you all very much indeed, and we'll send away for that victory lap of honour. Please congratulate Jordan Coyle for Ireland with 4 gold.